Today we're going to talk about arrays. This is a new concept we haven't talked about before. So let's say we did a competition and we just drew 5 winners out of the competition. We're going to put all these names into one array. Let's just do that. Let's use a const. We'll name it winners. When we build arrays, we just use the square brackets. Inside, we're going to write the names as strings. So inside double quotes, I'll write Thanos. I'm one of the winners. Sorry about that. I'm going to put some random names, some of my best friends. One of them is Jonathan Wick. If you also know him, write me in the comments below. The next one of my real friends is Mr. White, as you already know. The next one is Gandalf. He always comes to my parties. And the last one is Chikoritaki. So we just created an array. As you see here, we just create a box of a variable. And the only difference is that we put everything inside square brackets. We separate them by commas. And that's actually all it takes for JavaScript to understand that this is an array. So we have the 5 names inside of the winners. Let's see some basic things we can do with this. We can actually show the whole array inside the console. So we can write as a comment, print array. And all we have to do in order to achieve that is to actually just console.log winners. Save. And down there it's showing us that we have 5 items inside this array and it's displaying each and every one of them. Another one is we can isolate the information and see how many items we have in this array. We just console.log and inside we write the name of the array, winners, dot length. And as we save, the second line, it shows us the number 5. We have 5 items inside this array. Another thing we can do is that we can just isolate the names and retrieve a specific one. In this case, we console.log the name of the array, winners, and then we open square brackets and inside we put the number of the item. So as we said on the previous lesson, we saw this with the months that the programs start counting from 0. If you're asking why, don't ask me, ask the people who wrote the programs. So the first name here, it's Thanos, but if we want to target it, we have to press 0. And if I press 1, I want you to guess what name we're gonna get down there. And by saving, of course, we see that number 1 is Jonathan Wick and it's not Thanos because John Wick is always the number 1. Yeah. So if I wanna target Chikoritaki down there, I don't count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I write right here 4 and press save, I get Chikoritaki down there. So we always have to be aware of this small detail. So let's delete these 3 console logs. I'm gonna try something with this array now. We will create a prompt that the people that visit our website, they're gonna be asked what's their name. They're gonna put their name inside and notify them if they are inside the winners or not. So let's try to do that. We'll write another const that's going to be the user name and the value is gonna be whatever they wrote inside our prompt. Let's write prompt, opening parentheses, and inside we're gonna write a string. So we open double quotes and we'll ask them to enter their name. And then we're gonna say if, we're gonna grab the array winners dot includes, and inside here whatever they wrote inside the prompt, it's gonna be the value of username. So grabbing here username. So if their name is included inside this prompt, we open brackets and we're gonna give them an alert of a string again, congratulations space plus username plus open brackets. We can place a dot here or a comma. You are one of the winners. And I just wrote you are one of the winers, the persons that make wine. So let's correct that and put a double N there. And then we're gonna write else. We're gonna give them an alert. I'm sorry, you're still a loser. Some things never change. So here we wrote it like that at the moment. But of course, 2 lessons ago around there, we saw the backtick. So I want you to pause the video and rephrase this with backticks. So we get familiar with this thingy. So I go here, I press backtick and I write congratulations space. I put the $sign. I open brackets and I write inside the const username. I go outside this bracket, put a comma, you are a winner and not a whiner. So the moment we save here, we get enter your name please. If I write Thanos and press OK, I get congratulations Thanos, you're a winner and not a whiner. And again, by refreshing, if I write here any other name like Harry Potter, press OK, I'm sorry, you are still a loser, some things never change. Let's see some more examples of what we can do with arrays. I will build an array with a couple of months inside. Let's write const, I'll name it months, and it's equal to, we open brackets of course, and double quotes, we'll put inside March, January, February, and December. Of course, if I console.log months and save, I get that we have inside an array 4 months, and it's March, January, February, December. What else can I do with it? I can take months, I can press dot short and then console log months again, and let's see what short is doing. So on the first one, we just console logged the months as we have them there, and when we use months dot short, it's shorting the inside alphabetically. Yeah, A B C D E F G H I J KLM. It's putting them in alphabetical order automatically. This is what short is doing. We can keep it in mind that it exists. Another thing we can do is that we can create another const. We can name it new months selection, and we take the previous array that was months. I'm going to trim it. So we write here slice. I'm gonna take a slice out of it. Yeah, and now we open parentheses and we tell it where to start. Like, let's try to leave outside March and December and keep inside January and February only, the two middle ones. We tell it you're gonna start, this one is 0 of course, we're gonna start from 1 is included, and then outside we're gonna tell it which one to start excluding. So we're gonna say 0, 1, 2, 3. So 3 will be excluded and we keep from 1 until 2. Let's console.log the new month selection as well, and let's see it running. On the first one we have the whole months, March, January, February, December. On the second one, the sliced one, we have only the two middle ones. What else we can do is we can take months.push and write inside October, and when we save, we see that down there it took the months and added a new month in the end. So with .push we can add items inside our array. These are some basic stuff we can do with arrays. Let's write a function now. We'll have an array const. Of course, you can use array with let as well, but it's always better to start writing const, and only if you really need to change it to let, then you can just make it as a let. And we're gonna write numbers equals square bracket. I'm gonna put some random numbers inside. I'm gonna put 3, 56, 7, 32, 9, and 14. I'm gonna write a function that it goes inside this array and it's trying to find which one is the larger number out of all of them. So let's define a function. I'm gonna name it find max number, open brackets. So in here we're gonna try to run the array. We just write numbers. Now we're gonna say let max for max number equals numbers, the array, and we'll open brackets and we'll start with the first one, 0. Can also write a comment, what we are doing here, what's the logic. Start with the first element as the maximum. Then we'll go with a loop for let I equals 0. I is smaller than numbers dot length. So here we don't put smaller or equal because they count from 0. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the I, even though we have 6 numbers as the array length, the I is going to reach until 5. The last one is the number 5 in here. So it's going to stop looping until it's counting all of them. And in the end, we go for every loop, we increase the I by 1. And here we're going to say if the specific item of the array that we are checking at this moment is larger than the max we defined up there, that starts with the first item, right now is 2, redefine the max to equal the specific item. So I will check all the items, and every time something is bigger than the one we defined as max, now it's the first one, it's going to redefine max and stay up there. If it's lower, of course, it's not gonna redefine anything. We're just gonna pass it and continue the loop. And after all this, when the for loop is done, we'll just return the max. In here we can define a const final number equals find max number, and inside it has numbers. So by running the function, what we return is going to be assigned here, and we can finally console.log. We'll go straight with a backtick. The maximum number is $, opening brackets, final number, and we just put a dot. Let's see what we've done. Save. The maximum number is 56. Now let's change this one to 93 and check a little bit how our logic is running. We start with assuming that maximum number is the first one. So it's 2 here. We say if we start from 0, 2 is actually bigger than the max, that's actually 2 now, it's not, so it doesn't do anything, it's the same, it's equal. Then you do nothing, you skip this step, and you go in here, and I++ equals 1 now. 1 is the second one, 56, and we say if 56 is larger than 2, which it is, go to the max and reassign 56. So this one becomes 56. Then we loop I equals 2, 0, 1, 2 is 7. If 7 is larger than 56, it's not, then we skip this step and we loop again. I equals 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 32. If 32 is larger than 56, it's not, blah, blah, blah. We go I equals 4 because of the plus plus, yeah? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 93, and we say if 93 is larger than 56, it is, go and reassign the maximum number as 93. It goes 93, and then it loops again one more time for I equals 5. 14 is not larger than 93, so then the loop ends. It returns the maximum number we have right here, it's now 93, and assigns it into this const, and then we'll console log the final number is whatever we assigned there. So let's put a save, and now the maximum number is indeed 93. So we wrote all this thing because we wanted to practice arrays combined with functions and combined with for loops and combined with ifs, but there is actually a way shorter way to do that. I'm gonna show it to you right now. Please don't hate me. So we have the function right here. We delete everything and we just write return math.max, and inside we put 3 dots. You see the example here? It says 3 dots and then our array. So put 3 dots and we write numbers, the name of the array. And if I save now, we still get the same result. And if I write here 107 and I save, we see down there that's working properly. But everybody's wondering what we did here and what actually might these 3 dots mean. So the 3 dots right here, they're actually spreading the whole array. So they take the array and they're spreading it to all the items that it has inside. This thing we wrote here is equal to just writing math.max and then writing 2, 56, 107, 32, 93, 14. It's the same thing as going manually and typing all of the items again from the array in here, but because we do things dynamically always, instead of doing it manually, we just put 3 dots and we put the name of the array, which is numbers, and this way the program is actually doing all this thing I did earlier. It's just spreading all the items divided by commas in here. So we learned spread as well. That's impressive. So on this lesson we learned the basic stuff of arrays. We tried some simple exercises. I will make sure on the next lesson to try some more complicated stuff with arrays, so you guys have a very good practice and you get familiar with arrays. And I'm very happy we started exercising the backtick because it's something I consider very important, and it's better to familiarize with this because you're gonna be using it a lot in the future, even if you go to React. So today's lesson was kinda shorter than usual, but we have to avoid information overload. Yeah, so please make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you will not miss the next week's episode.